In any event, she's obviously an incredible star. She's totally revitalized interest. Well, I mean, vitalized interest in the WNBA in a way it never was before.
I feel like I'm getting hammered.
And is getting all this attention. Nobody disputes that she's an amazing basketball player, but still they seem resentful and angry toward her. And it's resulted in physical alterations on the court that don't get called as fouls, that the girls then deny were intentional. And Caitlin Clark always takes the high road. She never, points the finger.
In any event, she's obviously an incredible star. She's totally revitalized interest. Well, I mean vitalized interest in the WNBA in a way it never was before. All right, let's cut through all the noise and narratives. Megyn Kelly just dropped the truth that's got the WNBA shaking in their boots. She's exposed their anti-Caitlin Clark plan. And it's way worse than we thought. Feel like I'm getting hammered. The numbers don't lie. Clark's bringing in triple the viewers, but the WNBA is treating her like she's a nobody. In fact, worse than a nobody. I'm talking about fouls that would make the NHL look like it's pickleball and a marketing strategy that acts like Clark doesn't even exist. In this video we'll explore if this is just a mere coincidence, or is there something more to it than meets the eye. Something's rotten in the state of women's basketball. And we're about to blow the lid off this whole thing. Did the WNBA just fumble the bag? Before we break it down, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Are you ready? Let's go. Came in and is getting all this attention. Nobody dispute that she's an amazing basketball player, but still they seem resentful and angry toward her, and it's resulted in physical alterations on the court that don't get called as fouls that the girls then deny were intentional. And Caitlin Clark always takes the high road. She never points the finger. Let's be real, the WNBA just can't handle Caitlin Clark. She's like a walking highlight reel in a league that's used to being ignored, and it's driving them crazy. Clark's arrival was supposed to be this big moment, right? Everyone thought she'd save women's basketball, bring in the crowds, and finally get people talking about the WNBA. Well, guess what? She's doing all that, but the league seems determined to make her life miserable. You'd think they'd be rolling out the red carpet for Clark, but nope. Instead, she's getting knocked around like a pinball out there. We're talking elbows, trips, and accidental collisions that look about as accidental as a car crash in a demolition derby, and the refs, they're acting like they left their whistles at home. It's a joke. Take that game against the Connecticut Sun. Clark ends up with a black eye courtesy of D. Carrington's fingernails, and the refs are just standing there like it's a Sunday picnic. No foul, no nothing, and Carrington has the nerve to say, I didn't even know I hit her actually. Oh please. So she goes for the ball, and then look, she points her hand down after the play, after the ball is past this player from the Sun, and it seems very clear. She bends her fingers into Caitlin's eyes. There it is. She could pull her hand away. She didn't. She got and see had a black eye, and it was not called as a foul. And then she was seen celebrating on the sideline and laughing with a teammate. The numbers don't lie. Clark's games are pulling in an average of 18 million viewers. That's triple what the rest of the league gets. The WNBA should be throwing her a parade, but instead they're treating her like she's the enemy. Megyn Kelly nailed it when she said what's happening to Clark is just that bad. The league is letting this bullying continue without consequence, and it's just unfair. It's downright stupid. They've got a superstar on their hands, someone who could take the WNBA to new heights, and they're acting like she's a problem to be solved. That looked intentional, right? Typically when somebody does get hit in the face, or you're trying to block something, you don't put your fingers down like that. Your hand swipes, and maybe your hand makes contact with their face. We see this in basketball all the time. It's intentional foul. Somebody tries to block somebody shooting a layup and they hit him in the back of the head or on the face, and that ends up being a flagrant 1 or flagrant 2, depending on how they call it. You know what's really wild? While Clark's out there getting swatted on the court, the league can't even be bothered to put her face on their promo materials. It's like they're allergic to success. They've got this golden goose laying viewership eggs left and right, and they're trying to clip her wings. The biggest irony, it's Clark's dream to play in the WNBA. She wants the league to succeed. Clark's proving that women's basketball can be a powerhouse if played and officiated the right way. The WNBA is shooting itself in the foot, and they don't even seem to realize it. They've spent years begging for attention, crying out for more viewers and more respect. Now they've got it all gift wrapped in the form of Caitlin Clark, and they're acting like it's a curse instead of a blessing. Look, I get it, change is hard, but this isn't just change, this is evolution. With Clark, the sport can be fun, exciting, joyful. Team basketball. Clark is showing what women's basketball can be, and instead of embracing it, the WNBA is clinging to its old ways. It's pathetic, and it's going to cost them big time if they don't wake up and smell the coffee. Let's be clear for a second, no one is asking for special treatment. Everyone is just asking for fair treatment, calling things as they are and proper officiating so that fans and players can focus on the game instead of the extracurriculars. So the fact that they're attacking her just shows you the WNBA continues to drop the ball on this whole issue they got given the greatest gift of all time. So here we are watching this circus unfold. On one side you've got Caitlin Clark breaking 62 records and drawing record crowds. On the other you've got a league that seems intent on sabotaging its own future. It's like watching a car crash in slow motion, and honestly I can't look away. The WNBA better figure out fast that Clark isn't the plague, she's their ticket to the big time. If you've made it this far and are enjoying the video, don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on all notifications. We know watching this video takes some of your time and we appreciate you. Now back to the action, and you use the word vitalize cause you're right, you can't revitalize something that has never vitalized. But the WNBA has totally failed, whether it's not putting on the Olympic team, not using her in promotions, being hesitant to put her at the forefront of the league. I think the WNBA has missed a huge opportunity, and the only reason, Megyn, that we're talking about it and you're talking about the WNBA is because of Caitlin Clark. Now here's where it gets really messed up. Some folks are saying this is just how the league is and that Clark and her fans just can't handle it. Are you kidding me? The WNBA has been around for nearly 30 years, coasting along with their own style of play and culture. Then suddenly this phenom shows up and steals the spotlight and everyone loses their minds. You've got people throwing around terms like pretty privilege like it's going out of style. It's getting nasty, folks. Clark is the vehicle that will bring this sport that I have loved so much and so long to little 5-year-old girls playing in Harlem. I say yes, bravo, I have no problem with that. I do think that there is a thing called pretty privilege. Even Sunny Hostin jumped into this mess talking about how Clark's more relatable because of who she is. Can you believe this nonsense? She actually said, I do think that there is a thing called pretty privilege. I do think that she is more relatable to more people. Give me a break. And now we've got some of these veteran players acting like Clark's success somehow erases them. It's ridiculous. But guess what? Clark didn't ask for this drama. She's just out there balling. Here's the bottom line. Clark brought in a level of skill unseen in the WNBA. She exposed the inadequacy of the league on the court and off. Her games are reaching record highs, touching millions of fans, old and new alike, and bringing attention to the sport like no one has ever had. That's not privilege. That's talent. But instead of embracing it, the league's acting like she's the problem. My expectation is to be one of the best players in the world one day. I wouldn't expect anything less than that. More history for the FEA rookie. This point, continue to be myself, and I think a lot of good will come from that. And poor Clark, she's caught in the middle of this mess just trying to play ball. She's never complained even when she's sporting a black eye from a totally accidental hit. The WNBA had a golden opportunity handed to them on a silver platter and they're fumbling it like a greased football instead of celebrating Clark's success and using it to lift the entire league. They're letting petty jealousies and ridiculous accusations of privilege tear everything apart. It's a master class in how to shoot yourself in the foot, and the WNBA is doing it with both eyes wide open. You'd think the WNBA would take a breather from their self-sabotage tour. Want to know how deep this rabbit hole of incompetence goes? You won't believe the garbage the WNBA is trying to sell us about this Clark situation. It's like they're living in an alternate reality where up is down and common sense is a foreign concept. After respected journalist Christine Brennan did her job asking the tough questions to DJ Carrington, the league went into full panic mode, and boy was it a sight to behold when you went and kind of swatted at Caitlin. Did you intend to hit her in the eye, and if so, could you just or if not, either way, could you talk about what happened on that play instead of addressing the real issues? They're actually trying to paint reporters as the bad guys for asking questions. Can you believe that the WNBA Players Association is out here accusing journalists of biased reporting? It's insane. They're throwing around accusatory words faster than Caitlin Clark can sink a three-pointer. Talk about a Hail Mary pass of desperation. I don't even know why I would intend to hit anybody in the eye. That doesn't even make sense to me. But no, I didn't know I hit her actually.